What is going on, guys? There was a lot of stuff that happened in this episode, so I'm gonna try to say most stuff that I can remember, or some of the stuff that did happen, or whatever. Um. Anyway, so I watched the third episode of Iron Fist, and this show is definitely getting better, most definitely. Because when I heard Rotten Tomatoes rated so low, I wasn't expecting a lot at all. In fact, the first two episodes were a little mediocre at best, but the show is really picking up great. I mean, those two characters that have been in previous Netflix shows, Madame Gao, which she appeared for a quick cameo, and Jerry Hogarth, which at first I didn't think it was that character. She looked a lot like it, and obviously, what has been going on so far is like he comes across a character, and then they're like, I don't know you. How do I know you are? It's like just kind of like I mean, as you would, you're super suspicious, and it's kind of realistic if you think about it, because like in like all the other shows, like Batman Begins, for example, or Arrow, everybody's all like oh, you disappeared from the past, and then automatically they just act like nothing has ever happened or whatever. This is a little bit more realistic. Like if someone had disappeared from your life, you're gonna act kind of like just have pepper spray and like get away from me. But even though in Jessica Jones, Jerry just kind of like you know um, doesn't want anything to do, like just really kind of bitchy or whatever. She is surprisingly more down to earth, a little bit more humble to Danny, and his she understood his situation, except like then again, like to think about in Jessica Jones, she had to be bitchy because Jessica Jones was also kind of bitchy, so it kind of equaled it out, you know. But all I gotta say is Ward is such a pain in the ass. It's like I don't know if the actors is making him that way or just how they wrote him that way, but he is very an unlikable character. He just but at the same time, it's kind of he feels a little bit conflicted. As like you know to be to do what he has to do, and then not I'm not saying like put it on the level of Wilson Fisk, but he just kind of I guess. I'll crap my mouth before. Anyway, so so it finally feels like they're at a peace settlement, at a like so they could finally get past this and just be like, okay, fine, whatever. And then he realized, I mean, you kind of have to give credit to Danny a little bit, because he seems so hopeful that they could finally get together and finally be friends again. But nope, she's like kind of hits him with a deal saying like, change your name and we'll give you X amount of dollars, like millions of dollars. When in reality, he's worth billions of dollars, and he just takes that as an insult, which obviously you should, right? And it just he finally comes to his senses that like, hey, you people are not on my side, which is a little kind of infuriating. It's infuriating because it's like, what took you so long till you finally realize this? They don't like you, or they don't want you in their lives. Duh, But you got to give it to him because he's a sweet guy. To me, he kind of reminds me like from the movie Our Idiot Brother. If you've seen that movie, you'll know what I'm talking about, because Paul Rudd's character seems so nice, seems so humble, but yet everybody takes advantage of him, and no one wants anything to do with him. I mean, the movie is hysterical, and it's one of my favorite movies. But when you actually watch the movie, it's so entirely depressing, and it feels just like in this situation, except in this case, it's not as depressing, and he's not as like simple-minded, I guess. But it's just everywhere he goes, it's like, oh no, you can't do this. No. But it feels like in this episode, things are finally looking up, because Jerry Hogarth is like saying like, okay, well, I'm gonna help you out, try to take them down or whatever. But it just it sucks, because it's like I said before, it's like even when things are looking up for him, um, they're just like when he tries to find his X-rays, it's like, that shit has been burnt down. It's like they really don't like this character. Like, holy shit, I think I've never seen, like a character coming back from dead or supposedly, and then trying to reclaim his name, where they go at all end just to get rid of him. And later in this episode, it's revealed that the Father Meekum, I kind of forgot the guy's name, but I'm gonna call him Father Meekum right now. It isn't the main bad guy in this season, in this show. It's actually Madame Gal who's behind it. Which, what I said in another review, saying like how I was hoping that like it would connect with Daredevil. This is what I finally, kind of like hoping that the connection to the end of Daredevil. Hopefully, more than likely, we'll probably see more of a Madame Gal appear, which probably more than likely she's going to be the main villain in this series. But it just, I like how this episode has been progressing. Also, there was another scene where well, at the beginning of the episode too, like Colleen Wing kicked ass, but near at the end, she was kind of like in a Fight Club type environment where it's like a ring, and then she had to fight some big ass Chinese dude. And it's funny because she was like acting all hot shit or whatever. And at the end of the fight, I mean, damn, she kicked his ass, and it was awesome. And also, there was another scene where Danny was just kind of like trying to teach the students, trying to like actual kung fu and shit like that. And it's like they're just fucking around with it, right? And then you're just all pissed off, like this is supposed to be a place of respect, and whatever. Put some respect on the name. And then he accidentally kicked, or not accidentally, but he kicks one of the students' asses, and it's like Colin's like, oh well, you're not supposed to, because they've been bullied, and this is a safe place, whatever. And it's just kind of like, I understand the safe space, but at the same time, if you're teaching people how to fight, wouldn't they shouldn't they take it seriously? So yeah, I think there's I think that kind of more or less covers this episode. But yeah, it was kind of like an hour long, and it this episode really, like, it feels like, I mean, each episode keeps getting better and better, and the way the episode ended, major cliffhanger, and it you seen it coming, you had to seen it coming, because he was sneaking into their private suite, and then he just got pushed out. And that feels to me, that feels kind of obvious on who it might be, but the less obvious choice, probably not, but it could be Madame Gal, perhaps, maybe, I'm not sure. So yeah, that's pretty much all of my thoughts and shit about this episode 3. So yeah, that is everything. And also, I want to mention that tomorrow is a season finale. Yeah, season finale of The Walking Dead. Holy shit! I cannot wait for that. I mean, it's the start, basically the start of All Out War, and it looks amazing. Like fucking, I mean, damn, it's just so cool. And of course, you're gonna have your people complaining about that it's moving too slow, whatever, whatever. But I don't know. It just, I like how the season been progressing forward, and it's just like the final end. It's just but my only grab about it is like something so epic, and they're gonna end with a freaking cliffhanger, and then wait till October to be like, oh yeah, here it comes back, whatever. But the only thing I'm glad about that I didn't do is like you know, like, you have 8 episodes left. Now let's do those in this 8 episodes. We'll do a backstory on Negan. Like, who really cares? Let's just continue with what they're doing now. Anyway, that's it for my video. And like, I think I accidentally went over 10 minutes again. My bad. I just like talking, I guess. That is it. That is it with everything. And I'm out like the Flash, and I'll see you with another video.